Hey guys, Camper15 back it up with another video for you guys. I'm back with another Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian. Apologies for missing out on last week's episode. Things just got in the way and I was also lazy. But some highlights from last week's episode. Freaking, you had that Yuki continues to be Yuki in terms of like legitimately just like, my goodness, dude. I think she used like a Discord term, or it was Masachika that used a Discord term. And also another thing, the way it was all happening, she was on the table, he was like above her head. They did like a Spider-Man shot where it's like, oh, is Masachika going in for the kiss and everything? So, yeah, that's kind of the thing right then and there. That was a funny moment. Masha gets a little bit of a cutesy moment where she kind of gets a little bit, I guess you can say, punishes Masachika for basically like seeing her almost in the nude, and she's just like, "You're gonna make this up to me" or whatever. So that's the thing. She does make like a cutesy face where she puffs her cheeks a bit. It was pretty adorable. Again, that's all I can say. And then the end of last week's episode, we do meet Masachika's like grandfather from like I guess his dad's side of the family, right? And his grandfather from his dad's side of the family is absolutely wild, dude. His grandfather was legitimately just like one, he actually resonates with Yuki a lot. He damn near like an otaku himself. And this dude loves some Russian babes apparently, because legitimately he saw Alya, and then legitimately he's like, marry my grandson, please. Take my grandson's name in marriage, or yeah, or take his hand in marriage essentially. And freaking, you have it to where Masachika's like, you need to calm the fuck down. Like Masachika's not vibing with him whatsoever. Um he's not vibing with him, but then like it's absolutely hilarious because he's literally coming on to Alya, basically saying like, marry him, right? We also do meet Alya and Masha's mother, and her mother is just sweet, and the mother was all for it because the mother was like, oh, so this is the boy that you told me so much about. And Alya's getting quite flustered because she's like, Mom, you don't need to tell him that. And she's like, oh, it don't matter. So that was the funny thing. And then like after that whole situation happened, um, I loved it how the mom and Alya are walking off, and she's like, oh, so are you going to marry him? And Alya's just like, Mom, shut up. No. It's absolutely hilarious. So it seems like we have approval. We have approval. The mom is completely fine with Masachika marrying Alya. She is completely fine with it. She thinks like he's a great boy, a great kid, and everything. And she seems like she was all down for it. Especially, she probably caught on earlier the fact, especially if Alya's telling like, yeah, there's this boy at school and everything, and she probably like, oh, you must like this boy, huh? Don't you? So I thought that was absolutely hilarious, right then and there. Um, and then the episode ended off on a cliffhanger where Masachika ends up running into his biological mother, or biological mother, his actual mom. And she still looks in this weird state. So this actually leads into this week's episode, and essentially, you kind of get a little bit of it where it's like, oh, it's your typical romance, typical trope in these romance shows where main guy or girl is sick. Usually it's the guy that's sick. The girl then comes over to his house to take care of him, and it leads to funny stuff. Usually that happens. I've seen this trope done in almost every goddamn romance show known to man, where they just go over to the guy's house to take care of the guy. But he ended up getting kind of sick because of his trauma again. We basically kind of see like, it's funny because I think I like said like a few weeks ago, and even still, like the mother when she first saw Masachika, she kind of looked down and I won't say disgust, but kind of like in a disappointed way in a bit. And it seems like this mother has had this look for a long ass time since Masachika was a actual like child. And you kind of get the kind of syndrome here where Masachika wanted he had all these aspirations put on him because of the family name and everything, and he wanted his mom to essentially be proud of him for everything that he was doing. And the fact that the mom really didn't never acknowledged him or gave him props for what he did, it kind of only made him want to do even more to get his mom to acknowledge him. And to the point, I guess it got to the breaking point of the mom where she's like, you need to just stop this shit. Um, it was actually kind of like, again, we don't know what got the mom to be like this. It could be like the grandfather, which is more than likely her father, is making her like made her like this with all these expectations and shit like that, and put so much of a burden on her. It could have probably been the burden of of the father, Masachika's dad. So who knows? But like the fact, I'll say this: the mother lost points for me in this episode, especially when you get the backstory. The fact, like, okay, this mother kind of started the trauma and everything because Masachika wanted to just be a good son and just be like, listen, your son wants recognition from you. He wants to say, hey, you did a great job, son. I'm so proud of you. Like, that's all he wanted to hear from you, and you're just over here just like literally he's performing on the stage and everything, and after his like piano duet's over, everybody's cheering him on and applauding him, and then he looks at his mom, and his mom just kind of looks away like, I'm sorry. So I hope they explain why the mom is acting like this. It seems like the mom's been acting like this since Masachika was basically a little kid. Why is that the case? It probably is for the family reason. Again, I don't know why she would be doing this to her own son, but you would think, like, if she's being treated harshly, she would treat her family with more loving sympathy. Now, is this a thing where it's like maybe she didn't want a boy, she just wanted a girl like Yuki? I don't know. But then again, she also takes the same stance with Yuki as well. So there has to be something that fractured this, where she took this stance of like, I guess, ignoring Masachika. And who knows? Maybe that's the trauma. Maybe Masachika isn't really so worried about the family drama and the splitting of his parents. Maybe and maybe that's got a part, especially with the fact that he left Yuki all by herself, and we understand like he wants to be there for Yuki, right? Because he loves his sister. But maybe another part of it has to do with the fact like his mom just didn't give me recognition. Maybe the dad did, but the mom clearly didn't. And we'll see. We'll definitely see. But he basically gets sick of it. He basically gets sick because of it, and he comes down with a fever. And the next thing you know, he gets a knock on his door, and Alya is there in this very attractive outfit. I ain't gonna be spitting. I ain't gonna be like lying here. Listen, Alya's doing. Again, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Alya's doing. The show's doing their best to try to make Alya appeal so goddamn much to make fans like her. But I think legitimately I think the average fan who is watching this right now, number one, they're watching this show strictly alone just to see what the hell Yuki is doing. And they really like this show strictly because of Yuki. And then again, it's a toss up. I feel like it's a toss up in the community if you like Alya or Masha more. I personally like Masha more, and I do wish we would see more of her. Makes sense why it doesn't, because it's like, well, we don't want to focus too much on Masha because then we're going to take so much away from freaking Alya. Again, I like the show, but holy hell, man. I guess you can attribute the blame to the author. It's like the anime is only adapting what the author wrote in the light novel or whatever. So in the light novel, maybe the author did focus a lot on Yuki in terms of the devious shit she was doing. And maybe the anime is just expressing that a lot more. Again, I don't know. Again, for somebody who reads the light novel, the original source material, please let me know if like the author is still taking this approach of what you see in the episode. But if that's the case, it's like, damn, like this show's supposed to be about Alya, and legitimately, as a fan of watching the show, I've said this multiple times throughout my reviews, like kind of a piss poor job. Whether you're the animators or the anime staff or even the author, like the fact that you're getting other girls to be more likable than Alya and be more favorite. Well, I won't say likable, be more favorites over Alya in terms of like, honestly, even though they're like related by blood, I honestly rather see Masachika end up with Yuki. Or I'd rather see Masachika end up with frickin' Masha because it makes the most sense. Because they know each other from their childhood, right? Anyways, um, basically, she goes over to his house. She takes care of him. She's kind of like wary a bit because he's like, you can come in. You don't need to be so on guard. Like legitimately, they go to his room, and he sits down on his bed, and she just like, it smelled like boy in here. I'm just like, okay, is that a problem? Like, you think the man is gonna do anything to you? No, he's not. He's sick. She ends up making food. You get a funny comment where she walks in with the food, and he's like, "Great content. I get to see you in a basic. I get to see you in an apron." Which, listen, this already confirms. This already tell to all you. This already should tell her like, legitimately, like, no, this guy likes me. If he's complimenting the fact, complimenting the fact, in terms of this dude literally complimenting her of the fact that she's wearing an apron in a dress, and it's just like, okay, my guy, clearly you must be reading some type of special stuff. If you're like, oh, apron content, let's go. So the thing is, she's like, well, he's like, well, you can go now, you can go home, and she's like, no, I'm gonna stay. I gotta make sure you're a-okay. Oh, she also says like, oh, she came here because Yuki told her to come here to watch after him. And the next thing you know, like he knocks out, he wakes back up, he walks around, and then one, Alya's still there, but Ayano is still there. Ayano just shows up, and she's in her maid outfit. She basically goes over there and she hugs Masachika, telling Alya to go home because she's like, Yuki told me to take care of him. And Alya kind of wants nothing to do with it. And at the same time, you know, Ayano's like clearly clinging on to our boy. This episode basically also confirms the fact, like, even though Ayano looks up to Masachika, it's clear. And I know, like, a few weeks ago when Yuki asked her, like, you don't like my brother like that, do you? And because, the whole thing about, oh, you get the thing. And she denied, like, oh no, I only have an admiration for him. This episode essentially confirms, like, no, Ayano's got feelings for Masachika. She's in love with Masachika more than just, oh, a master, a master maid relationship. She clearly wants him more than just that. She wants him to be like more than friends or more than people that know each other. She wants to actually marry this guy. Absolutely funny. Now, you would think though this whole episode would be kind of like Alya scheming to get Ayano to go away, but no, actually Alya just leaves. She's like, well, all right, fine, whatever. So you get a funny moment to where, like, Ayano's taking care of him. She's literally like at his bedside staring at him, and he's like, "Can you go home, please?" And she's like, "No, I'm staying here so I can take care of you." And then this dude legitimately is like, "Go home, go back to Yuki, and go to sleep. That's an order." And she like, "Yes, master." And this dude's just like, "I should have did this shit from the very beginning." Like, what the hell? And he only then wakes up, and next thing you know, boom, she's still there. So does she go home? I guess not. She must have just slept on the couch in the room. Anyways, she gives him more food, and then she gives him more medicine, and then Masachi's like, wait just a damn minute. He's like, can I see the medicine packet, please? And Ayano's like, I'm so sorry. Here. And we find out that basically the medicine that Masachika's been given is medicine that will help him get better, but mind you, it's putting him to sleep and not making him knock out. Basically, like, I guess you can say like NyQuil or whatever. Like if you were taking NyQuil tablets or any of the medicines that essentially like help you get better, but they make you very sleepy, right? So you get that, and then next thing you know, it's basically he puts two and two together to figure out like, oh, she's using this to get ahead of Alya, and he runs to the school even though he probably ain't feeling too well. He gets to the school, and Alya basically is like, I'm so sorry, I fucked everything up essentially. And basically we kind of get a backstory. So Yuki and her deviousness knows no bounds, bro. Yuki is absolutely a monster. And again, the grandfather did tell her a few episodes ago, hey, I don't care what you do whatever you can to beat him. I'm not gonna let this dude just fall out from our family beat us. And she's like, all right, well, she clearly took that to heart, and she just like, as much as I probably don't want to do this, I'll have to do it, to please my family. So, one, also, you kind of get a fan servicey shot here because legitimately she's just like egging Alya on to do this like basically this podcast, I'm guessing for the school on the speaker, the town speaker, or on the PA announcer, right? And then she literally charges in, and she literally like pushes her boobs onto Alya. Alya's boobs are already like smushing amongst it, and they do a close-up shot, and I'm just like, the goons are gonna love that scene, and they're just gonna pause it right there, and even then just rewind it, and it's just gonna be like, yes, we're here for the Yuri content of Yuki and Alya putting their boobs up against each other. I'm all for it too. Listen, I don't care. I don't care. Anyways, um, the moral of the story in terms of this situation is Yuki then gets this devious, evil look, and Alya brings this up. And all you see is this, and Yuki just going all in and being all evil, and she just like, she's like, oh, Alya, you're such an idiot. Basically, this whole thing was a ploy from Yuki to take Alya to do the bait, take the bait, and basically Alya's like, oh shit, I got played. And it's just like, oh, that simple thing, and she gives this evil look because she's like, oh, well, I gotta do what I gotta do to win at the end of the day because listen, we're going up against each other, so and she basically and basically she confirms to Alya like, oh yes, I've been giving Masachika, this medicine that will put him to sleep all the time and everything. So, just to let you know, like, I was doing this for my own personal gain. It goes to show you that one, because Yuki knows, like, and it's actually pretty smart because Yuki knows, like, okay, Alya can be broken down pretty easily. Now with Masachika by your side, she can stand strong along him, and she becomes pretty much a problem because when he's by her side, well, then she actually has a backbone. But when Masachika isn't there, she tends to slip up a bit more, and she then starts to break down because she picked it up from obviously clearly the student council debate with against Tanamiya, right? And she saw that and she's like, oh, it wasn't until my brother got involved she ended up getting through. So she's starting to understand, like, okay, Alya is basically weak without my brother next to her. If he's there, then she can stand strong because my brother will rebound her and get her back on focus, on task. But if I can split them apart, that's where I get my advantage, right? So then they're about to do their little podcast or whatever, and then basically you kind of have it to where Yuki's just like, well, why, I'm really only doing this for my brother because my family always acknowledged my brother as being the best, and I've always been the one looking behind, and I've really looked up to my brother, and I'm doing this in honor of my brother. Basically, kind of somewhat coincidentally lying to Alya that like, oh, my brother's dead and everything, so I'm doing this for my brother, and that's what Alya believes. And then she asks Alya, like, obviously, like we saw a few weeks ago when she asked Alya, like, hey, come on, why do you like why do you like Masachika, right? This time she asks questions, so she's like, so why are you doing the student council? Why are you running for student council president? And Alya kind of breaks down right then and there. And by then the podcast has already started, and then she's already flustered and everything and broken down at this point, and she kind of blames herself for this, but Masachika does the right thing, gets her back on track, basically gets on one goddamn knee saying like, who the fuck cares if your idea is wanting to become student council president is selfish, like you're doing this for your own reasons and shit like that. And it's so funny because he basically was like, god damn, I feels like I professed my love, or no, it's like, it sounds like you professed your love to me with the way you were talking. which was funny because he ends up making her laugh, and it just goes to show you the dynamic between Masachika and Alya. Alya can be broken or get down so much, Masachika will do something or say something that will get her back on track and have her having confidence in her again, which is a good thing. Now, Masachika, overheard like the fact that, Yuki basically called him dead and everything, and she's just like, "Oh, there's my little sister of mine," and it seemed like he might have probably ended up actually maybe telling Alya like, "Hey, listen about Yuki. She actually is lying because I'm her brother." Maybe that would have been the part when he would have told Alya like, "No, her brother's not dead because her brother's like right here." But no, Tanamiya gets involved and she's going on her whole apology tour. She basically comes in here to apologize for the way she acted 3 weeks ago. And I love the line where Masachika's like, "You shouldn't be apologizing to me. If anything, you should be apologizing to all of you. And you better it's not up to me to decide if, you know, I don't care about your apology or whatever. It's up to whatever all you feels about it." So if it was me, I would have never accepted the apology. I'm like, "Ninja, you basically said I was doing all this stuff or whatever." But anyways, it seems like they're gonna work together, along with even Tanamiya's friend, the girl that basically like kind of chooses to get with all the other guys. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean. But it seems like they're gonna probably work together to try to take down Yuki together and give them more credibility, because it seems like the plan is now to get Alya back on track, to have more confidence, to get people to get more confidence. The good thing actually is Masachika does like, well, at least guess what? This podcast happened in the wee school early school hour morning, so barely if anybody heard or took anything of approach from the podcast you did with Yuki. So we're going to use the closing ceremony to be able to flip everything. So it seems like Tanamiya and her friend are going to be backing, backing Alya. Even though Tanamiya is kind of like against it, because she even tells like Masachika, like, "Regardless, Kuze, I still wish you'd just been with Yuki, but whatever. I guess I'll do it." So another solid episode of Alya Hides Her Feelings in Russian. Can't wait to see more content and things like that and stuff like that. So till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day, night, or when you're watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.